All right, guys. So it's time to expose a woke revolutionary for the racists that a lot of them are. Okay, and I feel like I say this a lot because I spend a lot of time, reading right wing news, being on conservative websites, just reading stuff, right? And I don't ever see the same amount of racism that I see when I actually read things from the left, right? Those on the left, in my opinion, seem to be the most racist people in our society right now. And this story right here is a textbook example of left-wing racism coming from the woke revolutionaries. And the woke revolutionary we have here today is Roslyn Talusan. Okay, she's a culture writer. Okay, and an anti rape activist. She's passionate about media critique and speaking the truth to power to foster a culture of empathy for sexual violence survivors. Okay, and some of her work has been featured in all the woke media, right? Like Vice, Refinery 29, BITCH Media, stuff like that, right? She's also Canadian. Now, as you can see, her tweets are protected because she came under some serious fire for a tweet that she put out towards a woman about her cooking noodles, right? This woman is white and she's cooking noodles. And apparently Roslyn had an issue with this. She says, why did a white woman write a cookbook about dumplings and noodles? So basically what she's implying here is that white women can't write a book or teach people how to cook dumplings and noodles, as if dumplings and noodles, cooking that or being able to cook those things or write about those things or teaching people how to cook those things is only something that I guess Asians can do, right? Does that make sense? Right? Only Asians can sell cookbooks on how to cook dumplings and noodles, right? I really don't understand. Again, this is a textbook example of the racism from the left, right? Just assuming that, well, only Asian people can cook Asian food, right? Only Asian people enjoy Asian food or can teach other people how to cook this food. Why do you make that assumption, right? That's just like me assuming that only black people can make soul food, right? If you consider soul food to be black. I mean, I think it's really more Southern food, right? Because I think people in the South tend to, kind of eat the same things, right? For the most part. But I wouldn't assume that just only black people can fry some chicken, right? Or, I wouldn't assume that. I'm pretty sure there's white folks that can fry up some chicken, man. I'm pretty sure there is. Just like there's some white people that can probably cook up some Asian food. But apparently, this isn't acceptable to her, right? So this kind of stirred up some internet drama. As the person that she happened to be criticizing, Miss Pippa here, I don't know her last name, she goes by PP Eats, is actually a chef, right, who's been interested in Chinese cookery since she was a young child and her grandfather would take her for dim sum. So over the years, she basically learned about East and Southeast Asian cooking, right? So she spent 15 years learning this. She even attended the Laozai Noodle School in 2019 while traveling in China, right? So she's legit. She's a legit chef that attended school in China to learn how to cook the food because she likes the food. And now she's teaching other people how to do the same thing without going to China, right? So this woman, this Asian woman, right? This woke revolutionary is attacking a chef, a white woman, because she's white and she cooks noodles, even though she went to China to learn how to do this, right? So Miss PP Eats here, she responds and she says, trying to approach this without divisiveness, and it seems as though your issue is with the larger system of injustice in food publishing, underrepresentation of BIPOC authors over representation of white authors rather than me personally, or I think so anyway. Attacking an individual you know nothing about, pasting a picture of my face and calling me arrogant and uncreative white woman allows others who respect your opinion to justify harassing me. In my experience, tweets like this don't challenge the systemic issue or instigate any change. It just serves to temporarily make me the poster child for the system of injustice that no doubt I am a part of. And it simply leads to dogpiling and mounds of threatening DMs telling me, for example, to go and drown and you deserve to fail. And it ends there. So basically what she's saying is, in an all too nice way, I think she's being way too nice, but I don't blame her here. Hey, what you're doing is that you're making me the poster child of something that a lot of white people already been blamed for, right? I think really kind of unnecessarily, which is, I think is really ridiculous. But essentially this other woman, right? The Roslyn woman, she essentially calls people to attack this white woman chef because she was selling a book about noodles. Now, the woke revolutionaries still went after the chef and said, so she knows about the disparities in representation and still decided to take part in it and capitalize off a culture that is not hers, and then claim a critique was an attack. Straight out the playbook. Again, these people think that nobody can do things outside of their own culture, right? People can't wear clothes outside of their culture, right? They can't, wear certain hairstyles. I hate the cultural appropriation thing, guys. I really do. I think it's BS. I think it's nonsense. I think it's really stupid, right? I think people can appreciate people's culture and still make money off of appreciating people's culture, right? It ain't appropriation. Sometimes it's just appreciation. And I think this is straight up appreciation. More woke revolutionaries here. Hi, Pips. I can totally see why you want to go to defensive, seeing as you are part of the problem and just got called out. But maybe try not white-splaining to a woman of color when she's talking about it's not your place to profit off cultural dishes that aren't yours. Can't criticize a woman of color, right? We here we go again with that, right? And also saying that she can't make money off something that she went to Asia and learned, right? Just because she's white. It's ridiculous. It's just like saying that you can't make money off a skill that you learn if that skill happens to be related to a certain culture, right? That's what she's saying. So if I learn martial arts, Taekwondo, Kung Fu, whatever, I can't make money teaching other people Taekwondo or martial arts. That's essentially what she's saying. So Roslyn here continues on with her attack, in which she quotes, right, the chef. She says, "You're calling me unoriginal and posting my author photo, therefore encouraging racist, misogynist, and harassment you're getting. Could you be any more of a white woman gaining a system that's set up for you to succeed off of our backs?" Oh my goodness. So the irony here is that Miss Roslyn, whom went after this chef, right, just because she's a white woman trying to, make noodles, right? Turns out that she was actually the real racist because she has a history of racist tweets. As she's tweeted here, "Why are white parents the worst?" And YT stands for white. They say it stands for YouTube, but it definitely stands for white, right? That's literally what it stands for. That's the way she's using it. She says, "Why do white men smell so bad? White people are so loud. Let's go F some white people up. White people gotta ruin everything. If he were stalking me, he'd know I vehemently detest white men, but we already know these losers are just projecting." Oh, so the anti-racist, okay, the person that's complaining about racism so much has a history of tweeting racist things about white people, right? But oh no, that's not racist because white people have power according to these people. So therefore, you can't say that. That's not racist. It's cool for her to say stuff like that when it's obviously not. This is obviously not okay. This is textbook racism, right? This is what I try to tell you about, guys, about those on the left. They love complaining about racism, but deep down, they are the most racist people in our society. They're more racist than the people that they're accusing of being racist, right? So, of course, people go after her for this, right? People go out there like, "Oh, no, you're the real racist," okay? And what ends up happening is that she responds, she says, "Hordes of white strangers are holding me accountable for this tweet because I'm, quote, racist, to call out white supremacy when I see it. They are frantically refreshing my replies to try to diminish me in whatever way they need to feel in control of their life again." So people go after her for this, and rightfully so, because again, if you're going to be against racism, you got to be against all racism, including the racism that comes from you, right? So this woman ends up basically playing a victim card and says, "Anyway, therapy cost me $130 a session, and I'm gonna need it after almost 48 hours of harassment from Nazis. Thank you for everyone who sees what's happening. Tips, solidarity, heart emojis, appreciate it. So just like the typical woke revolutionary, right? She plays the victim card, right? Talking about she needs therapy now because some people on the internet call her out on her racism. She posts a PayPal link for a donation, right? So guys, imagine, right? The same person talking about privilege posts a donation link, right? Tries to raise money off getting called out on her racism for trying to call out a white woman for teaching people how to cook noodles. Right? But other people are privileged. To me, this sounds like privilege to me. This sounds like privilege. So basically, she receives a massive amount of backlash for this. And this is why her Twitter is now protected, right? So, like I said, guys, I mean, this whole conversation about cultural appropriation is really stupid to me, right? It's one of those topics that really annoys me the most because at the end of the day, man, like, I think a lot of people confuse cultural appropriation with cultural appreciation, right? I cannot tell you guys how many times I've cooked Penang curry, right? Or some type of, Indian food because I have friends that are Indian, okay? And I have friends that are Asian, okay? So I cook a lot of Asian stuff. I have friends that are Arab, right? So I eat Arab foods, okay? I have friends from all over the place, from all different countries, right? And nationalities and cultures. And I appreciate all of their food. And what they typically do is that they teach you how to cook their food, right? They like when other people learn how to cook their food. They don't see that as appropriation. They see that as appreciation. They see that as, oh, this person's learning to be like us. My culture is influencing somebody else. And they actually like that. They actually like that. They don't complain. They don't cry about it. They like it because it shows cultural dominance, right? That's the way they think about it. Okay? But apparently this is not how the woke revolutionaries think, right? So I just found this story to be interesting because I find the whole cultural appropriation thing to be really stupid, right? People that cry about that stuff, because ultimately, at the end of the day, if somebody likes your culture enough to adopt your culture, that is a sign of cultural dominance, right? That's why I never understand why so many people get mad about white women wearing braids and stuff like that. I'm just like, why does it matter? Right? Maybe you should, I don't know, advertise, create a braiding shop geared towards, getting white women to get braids, right? You can make some money off of it, okay? But see, people don't think like that, right? They don't think about that. I mean, that's basically what Asian people have done with Americanized Chinese food, right? They made Chinese food geared towards Americans. Guess what? That's a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? But no. They're too busy complaining about cultural appropriation instead of being smart enough to actually capitalize off the fact that somebody else appreciates your culture, right? It's really stupid to me, in my opinion. But hey, it is what it is. I just love the fact that this person who tried to cancel this chef ended up getting canceled herself. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.